Today's goal is to solve a formula for a variable. A formula is an equation that shows a relationship between variables. So a is pi r squared tells you that the area of a circle is related to its radius and how it's related. Or distance equals rate times time, right? If I drive 60 miles an hour for 2 hours, that means I've driven a total distance of 120 miles. Or x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This relates the values of a, b, and c to x, the solutions of a quadratic equation. So you're relating the relationship between variables. Okay, let's take a look at a true example. When I was at Worcester and I was studying abroad and reading temperatures, it was very confusing, right? If it said the temperature was 10 degrees Celsius, well, I could say, okay, 10 is 5/9 f minus 32. Okay, we can multiply by 9/5. So 90 divided by 5. 90 divided by 5 gives me 18. Is f minus 32. We can add 32 to both sides. Oh, so this is saying it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I know how to dress for 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I need a warmish coat, but not the warmest coat. Okay, in March, if the temperature was 15 degrees, so I'd say 15 degrees is 5/9 times f minus 32. Let's multiply by 9/5. 9 times 15 divided by 5 gives me 27. I add 32. Oh, so this is going to be a 59 degree day. Ooh, a little bit warmer. Nice. Okay, if the average temperature is 23, right? This is getting pretty tedious, and so there's a faster way. If I had taken this original equation, c equals 5/9, this original formula, sorry, it's a formula because you're relating degrees Celsius and degrees Fahrenheit. If you had just solved for f in the first place, now I have 9/5c is f minus 32. So f must be 9/5 c plus 32. Now you could just substitute any degree Celsius into here. It's a little bit faster than substituting and rearranging terms because you could type directly into your calculator. If in May it's 23 degrees Celsius, that means that in Fahrenheit, that's 9/5 times 23 plus 32. It's just a little bit faster to find out what the temperature is going to be in degrees Fahrenheit. So we like to solve formulas if it's convenient to substitute one value rather than another. In this next example, we're going to solve each formula for f. So I sort of like to highlight f to see where we're at. Oh, interesting. F is in the middle of a fraction. Well, that's great. We know how to deal with fractions. T is the same as 2/1, so I can solve by getting a least common denominator of 3. All I have to do is multiply by 3/3 here. So I have 5f squared n over 3 is 3t/3. Okay, common denominator, so the numerators must be the same. Again, sometimes I keep highlighting f so I can see what do I need to move. Well, first let's move this 5n. So that'll give me just f squared is 3t/5n. Oh, nice. All I have to do is take the square root of both sides. Now, don't forget, f will be the positive or negative square root because we don't know what these numbers are, right? I have no idea what f, t, and n are, so I don't know if it would make sense. If f is a temperature, it could be negative. If f is an amount of money, you could be in debt, it could be negative. So we'll take the positive or negative square root. Okay, back to the directions. Solve for f. So again, I'm trying to get f alone. Again, f is caught up in the middle of a fraction or a rational equation, a ratio of polynomials. So we can solve by getting a least common denominator. We'll need a 3 and an f minus 2. Okay, so let's recopy it. So we can make it clear what we're multiplying by. This is a little tricky because you're dealing with a lot of variables, but we treat them the same way we treat numbers. Okay, again, I'm solving for f. Don't lose it. Oh, so let's move the 2t. There aren't any like terms, so in no particular order, it's not clear what standard form would be or which would come first. Oh, now I just need to move that t. I can divide both sides by t. Nice. F is all alone, which means we solved for f. Solve for f means get it by itself on one side of the equation. Okay, cool. One final one. Again, the directions are to solve for f. Solve for f means get f by itself on one side of the equation. This is a little different because f is in both the numerator and the denominator. But again, guys, this is just a rational equation. So we'll solve by getting a common denominator. So we have f minus 3 over 2f plus 5 equals 2ft plus 5t. Just putting my variables in alphabetical order. My denominators are the same, so my numerators must be the same. Oh, interesting. Now I have f's on both sides of the equation. So let's get them on the same side of the equation. It does not matter which, but let's move all the other stuff. So I'm going to move the 3 to the other side. So I have f equals 2ft plus 5t plus 3. I want my f's on one side and everything else on the other side. Because if I have my f's on the same side of the equation, they are in common on the left. If they're in common on the left, you can just factor them out. And factoring them out is great because now you can just divide by the extra stuff, the leftovers. So we have f equals 5t plus 3 over 1 minus 2t.